Well, slight hiccup there against the Padres, but hey, the Dodgers got it back rolling against their real rivals. My name is Ryan Bershinger, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about Walker Buehler. He's a couple starts in now. When do we start to grow concerned? I'm going to tell you what that timeline should look like with Walker Buehler.
Oh, Walker Buehler, he's back. But I think I need to remind the Dodgers that Shohei Otani is on the team. And if he can play, he needs to play. I'm Monse and I'm just a little bit annoyed with the Dodgers right now. Okay.
I'm Beau Benson, and I'm going to tell you why Mookie Betts was right and one fan base online is very, very wrong.
That's right. All that and a whole lot more. This is the Sick Podcast, the Dodger Zone. Let's get into it.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to the Sick Podcast. The Dodger Zone.
Strike three. Dodgers have won it all in 2020.
Fernando Valenzuela has pitched a no-hitter at 10:17 in the evening of June the 29th, 1990. If you have a sombrero, throw it to the sky.
The sickest LA Dodgers podcast. It's gonna be sick.
That's right, back at it. We had a great run of Dodger baseball for a while there. And then, 2 out of 3 drops.
Season's over.
Padres.
It's over.
And congratulations again to the 5 consecutive year World Series champion, San Diego Padres. Well done. Well done.
Tip your cap.
Good work.
Nothing you can do.
Of course, bounce back against the Giants. Just full disclosure here, we're recording this episode prior to their Wednesday night game against the Giants. So as far as we know, it's a series sweep. If they've won the first 2 games against the Giants, of course, we got Eliezer Hernandez going. So let's turn back the clock and let's get a win. But speaking of turn back the clock, I want to take a quick second, guys. Our last episode, I don't want to toot our own horns here, but of course I do. I will do that.
What are you talking about? There's no humility on this.
Our last episode did pretty well. I'm humbly very surprised because Beau and I, of course, did swing shift for quite some time, and then this year we started this with you, Monse, and Beau and I would always joke about the fact that 4 people were listening to our podcast and 3 of them were related to us.
Yeah.
So, to post a show that gets a handful of thousands of listeners, many of which appear to be from Japan, which is awesome. This is amazing. So I want to lead this off with a very sincere domo arigato. Thank you so much to all of our new subscribers, all of our new listeners here. And hopefully you hang out with us for this season because we're just having fun here.
How hard was it for you not to say Mr. Roboto immediately after Domo Arigato?
Listen. Sticks has unfortunately ruined that.
Yeah, no, I mean, Sticks is the best. How dare you?
Listen, okay, come sail away is great, but I'm not gonna.
Sticks rocks.
I'm not gonna try to fight it. I do want to bring up in a baseball angle though on last episode. One of the things that really took off with the last episode is we were talking heavily about Shohei Otani, which, by the way, we now need to, because that episode did so well, every few minutes or so, I'm now going to have to just say into the microphone, Shohei Otani, Los Angeles Dodgers, Major League Baseball, Shohei Otani, Japan.
Like every time Kevin Hart told Tom Brady F off during his road. Randomly F off, you're going to be randomly Shohei Otani.
It's all for search engine purposes.
Yeah.
All right, you gamed the algorithm. Shohei Otani, Japan, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Major League Baseball, Los Angeles Dodgers. So on the last episode, we talked about how Otani is the clear-cut MVP right now. And it was the title of the episode. It really hooked a lot of people. Truth be told, to be fully transparent here, I thought we were pointing out the obvious.
Yeah, I didn't think that was a hot take at all. I really didn't.
I thought it was a pretty tame thing to say because I thought everyone kind of understood that. And then suddenly, a day or two later, I saw Braves Twitter complaining about people saying that anybody other than Marcell Ozuna is the MVP.
Yeah. It was funny. It was like, oh, you're serious, because I had seen like a couple of, I was like, oh no, you guys are serious. And it's like, I looked at his numbers, and his numbers are, like they're fine.
Sure.
At the same time, it's like, I could argue Mookie Betts over Marcell Ozuna. It was easy. And it's just like, well, that's cute. That's cute. But yeah.
Marcell Ozuna is the MVP of what?
Of RBIs. that's what it came down. It came down
video
to
recordings. Like, what are we talking about here? Hitting catchers on the backswing. Like, what are we doing?
That's true. He is good to like give Will Smith a concussion once a year.
Yeah,
guaranteed.
It has to be on purpose.
I think it's kind of funny. Like, I feel like Braves fans kind of realize how fraudulent Acuna Jr.'s MVP was last year, and now they're like going all the way back around to be like, oh no, actually, you can't say it's Otani because Marcell Ozuna hits the ball well, and it's like, come on, guys, we know. You have Ellie De La Cruz on pace to steal 100 bases this year, and you're telling me there's nothing fishy about that at all? Come on, give me a break.
There's not really much of listen. Ozuna...
Also, I didn't even mention this last time. Otani steals bases too.
Right.
What's the issue here? Like, what's the problem? If that was the big criteria last year, then why aren't we using it again this year?
Ozuna's put up strong offensive numbers. If you're going to rule out Otani because he doesn't play the field, neither does Marcell Ozuna.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure. Like, other than him having a bunch of RBIs, which is all right, cool. Last year we had the gigantic, battle of the MVP races when the Braves came to town, and the Braves kind of dominated the Dodgers, and Acuna showed up, and that was something that factored into it. And Acuna also just had a better last 2 months than everybody else. Mm-hmm. But you also are having this discussion after Atlanta came to LA and got swept easily. Sorry, no. You want to talk about the most valuable player in the National League? There are two guys on the Dodgers that provide more value currently than Marcell Ozuna. Again, good offensive numbers. I'm not trying to slight him, but when you look at the numbers, when you go beyond just RBIs, which again, what are we doing? It's very obvious that Otani's been the best hitter in baseball.
It's just funny, like it's such a just a milquetoast take. Like there's nothing. It's something you'd hear between 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. on the weeknights. Like if you're listening to the radio, like what's the big deal?
Anyway, Shohei Otani, Los Angeles Dodgers, Major League Baseball, Japan, Shohei Otani.
Did you guys ever watch was it Scary Movie 4? Where they
which one's that one?
The Grudge?
Before.
They parody The Grudge, and she goes to work in Japan.
No.
And there's a little ghost boy haunting the house, but they talk to each other, but it's just random words in Japanese. Like that's what this is like.
Yeah.
This
is like that. Yes, but
just shameless. And I endorse it. I endorse it. Keep it going. Don't ever stop.
Look, we have supplied by my beautiful fiance the Hello Kitty bobblehead, which also, was Monse secured for us.
Right.
I got
that. Yeah, you did nothing to get
now, but Audrey has allowed me to use it as a fixture in this podcast. It's been there since the beginning, so it's going to stay there. And we're going to
be front and center.
Yeah. Eventually, it's going to replace my face. It's probably going to do much better. But we are going to talk bobblehead nights because Shohei Otani's bobblehead night is tomorrow, and we've got some fun stories to toss around with that. But back to business here. So off the top, I talked about I mentioned Walker Buehler. We're 2 starts in now to Buehler's return, and Monse and I had talked about this when you were out, Beau. Sorry, how you really are going to have to be patient with Walker coming back, and the second start against San Diego really showed that. He got hit pretty hard. His placement wasn't that great. His velocity was kind of okay. And that's kind of what we're going to see, I think, at the start here for Buehler, but I think I've pinpointed kind of the point where we can actually like legitimately grow concerned. At first, I was thinking about it today, and I'm like, well, I want to give him 2 more starts before I go like, okay, this isn't great. But so he's starting this weekend against the Reds here in LA. And then just looking at the timetable, he's probably starting again the following weekend in Cincinnati. So he's got back-to-back starts lined up with the Reds. So I don't want to give him just a 2-game stretch here because the Reds have guys who can hit. And when you're facing a team in back-to-back starts, there is the potential of the team just lighting you up in the second start because of the familiarity. They just faced you. They're back in their home ballpark. It might not go well for you. So I want to give him at least 3 more starts here. I think referring to my tiny schedule here, I believe that his next start would then line up to be at home against Colorado. Which, by the way, the Colorado Rockies have not lost since the last time we recorded, so good on them.
Yeah. So
which Beau is also going to bring up in his point. I want. This is kind of where let's give Walker at least through the end of May before we start to kind of sweat things out a bit. And if he has 2 of those starts be strong, then I think we're good. And even then, that might be even too short of a leash because, quite frankly, we really only need him to be good once we're like close to the playoffs. But I think that's a kind of good negotiable point to really get our idea of what we should expect from Walker Buehler this season. Monse, what do you think?
I think they're going to give him a longer leash than maybe we're thinking. I don't think it's just going to be the next 3 games. I think it's going to be a good sample for us. What I want to see is a little bit more control. Like, I'm not expecting him. In fact, if I'm being completely honest, I don't want him to pitch 98, 99. Don't do that. Like, can you ease into, I don't want to see that. That is not what I care about. I want him to be in control and to be able to place the ball because after 2 Tommy Johns, like, we have to be realistic of what he's going to be able to do. And I think this is realistic of the future, right? Like, we're going to see a lot of players undergo 2 Tommy Johns from this point on when it comes to baseball. And I think the big thing is that velocity, it's like that should be the last thing you're trying to do right now. I don't want to see that. I want to see you in control of where you put the ball. And that has always been the thing when, Pedro Martinez said that when pitchers get older, like you got to be able to place the ball where you want. It's not that he's older. It's just that he's been through 2 Tommy Johns. So he got to like approach it kind of in a very similar way, I think. So I'm with you about 3 games. I think the Dodgers might even give him a little bit longer because you pointed out we really need him to be in his best, shape later in the future, not right now. So I think they're going to give him a little bit of a longer leash than the 3 games. But yeah, because let's be real. Game 2, it didn't look good. It didn't look good from the beginning. It was uncomfortable from the beginning. Yeah. So I don't want it to be like that. He doesn't have to be perfect, but game 2 was rough. Like the sweats came and I understood why. I was like, this is not looking good. From the beginning, it was uncomfortable.
Surprisingly, I'm less concerned about Walker than you guys are, to be honest with you. His velocity's been okay. It's just the command he needs to work with, but that can only come with getting out there and throwing it. He looked fine in the first game, but that was the Marlins. And then second game, it was a day game against the Padres, right?
Yeah.
Whatever. And the next start against the Reds at home will be telling, but again, I'm going to throw out that the start after that against the Reds because Great American Ballpark also sucks for pitchers.
Yeah.
So it's tough. I mean, we don't even know who's going to be available at the deadline, like all that stuff. Like right now, their worst starter is James Paxton with a 2.6 ERA, and that's me rounding up. So I've never been concerned about their starting pitching. And I'm not really concerned about Walker, but if it's one of those things where if they have to address it, they have to address it. But the velocity is fine for me. Like it's obviously going to be down. It's just getting control back and command back. And that can only come with making some starts. So, yeah,
for sure. The rotation's in such a great place right now. There was a guy who's pretty known on, he's kind of a Twitter guy. He doesn't pitch for a Major League Baseball team, and I don't think he ever will again. He currently pitches in Mexico. He tweeted something a couple days ago saying that he believes that he would be one of the 3 best pitchers on any given team right now. Is in essence what he said. He's like, there's not 3 pitchers on any team better than me right now.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, let's just take the Dodgers rotation for example. Tyler Glasnow, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, you're not better than them.
No,
you're not.
Not
Gavin Stone's been excellent.
Yeah.
Gavin Stone's it's really been incredible how good Gavin Stone has been, and like he deserves a ton of praise. Like he's been very solid. You're not better than him. Walker Buehler, I think prior to these last 2 starts, I think pitched more recently in the major leagues than you. You're not better than him. Right. A healthy Bobby Miller, you're not better than him. So like, or if you're trying to make the argument that you're maybe better than a 36-year-old James Paxton, okay, good on you. But even then, I think James Paxton is better than you.
Yeah.
Emmett Sheehan, healthy, is better than
Tough
you.
scene.
Anyway,
Tough scene. You hate to see it.
It's what the kids call cap, I believe.
Yeah,
he was capping. He was out capping. Monse, no cap for real. You want to talk about James Outman, which James Outman is young enough. He knows what I mean when I say that. So what would you like to say on James Outman?
It's just, I like the guy, and I know it's his 2nd year. And so like, I wasn't expecting him to be fabulous. I'm just wondering if we decide to make a move, because in his last 5 games that he has played, he had 14 at-bats and 1 hit. And then when everybody else is like thriving and doing really well, and even like showing hints, like Gavin Lux, look at him. Hey, he's getting in there, right? Like after having such a terrible little start, like he's figuring it out. And so it's just like, is James Outman maybe someone that the Dodgers should be looking at to potentially make room for somebody else for just a moment? Like let him go, feel better about himself. I feel like he's just in a little bit of a mental slump too.
Yeah.
I think we're about to see that, right? Because Jason Heyward is about to come back. He's actually rehabbing, despite what I had speculated a few weeks ago. It appears that he is actually going to play Major League Baseball again, which good on you, Jason. But because of that, the Dodgers will have to make a move somewhere. Andy Pages has been too good. You're not sending him down.
No.
He should be playing in the outfield every day, as we've established. So I believe it was Dodgers Nation. Beau, I know you saw this. I don't know if you saw this, Monse, but I think Dodgers Nation put out a poll saying hey, Jason Heyward is coming back. There's 4 guys with minor league options. Who are you going to send down? Now, instead of just being one of those guys is Will Smith, obviously he's not going to get sent down.
Yeah.
They just went ahead and included him as an option.
Pretty safe to assume.
Which I believe, once again, that's cap. So
Mega.
Is JP Hornstra one of the options? Can we send him down to hell?
But of course, the other options that could be sent down: James Outman, Gavin Lux, and Andy Pages. And again, not sending down Pages. And Lux is showing signs of life. Lux is hitting pretty well. He had that triple last night that looked great. The bat is coming around, which is really exciting to see. Yeah. So it's either send down James Outman, who hasn't been hitting as well as he did last year, who could really use, I think more than anybody, could actually benefit from some time in AAA right now, or you DFA Chris Taylor.
Yeah,
I would prefer that they just send Outman down.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Taylor hasn't played well, there's still value to keeping him, because you hope that he can get kind of back to where he was. And you can give Outman every day at bats. You don't have to platoon him in AAA. So I like that idea.
Yeah, I think that's when it's those are the 2 options, right? It's either you send down James Outman or you DFA Chris Taylor. They're not going to DFA Chris Taylor. Right. They're not going to do that. They should. They probably will at some point when their hand is forced, because I don't think he's going to get above hitting 100 this year, because he hasn't been good for about a year and a half now. But when you can either send a guy down or DFA a guy, and you don't have to DFA a guy, sending the guy down is the right call. It's the easy option. It's the easy choice.
Yeah.
Outman needs it. He just needs a reset. My only concern is like who plays center field at that point.
Well, Pages has been playing center.
out there.
Yeah. So I'd be comfortable with just letting him continue to develop as a center fielder. So I think that's really nice. And then
it's gonna be really funny. They're gonna DFA Chris Taylor, and then he's gonna remember how to play baseball.
Yeah.
Well, that's usually how it goes.
He's got Giant written all over him, doesn't he?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, can I bet on his next team?
Go.
Can anybody that lives somewhere where it's legal just bet on the Giants as Chris Taylor's next team?
Yes.
Please.
I think Giants are a good favorite. All right. Beau, you had mentioned Mookie was right.
Mookie was very right.
Yes.
As evidenced by the result in San Diego this weekend when the Padres played the 3 greatest games of their life and won 2 of them. Probably would have won that 3rd one if Teoscar Hernandez hadn't ripped that ball into left field. But like that is Mookie was right. We're going to be saying it all year long because there's going to be these random times where a team, most likely the Padres, because they're the only ones that really seem to care about playing the Dodgers that much, just fall into the series and they take, one of the 3 or they get swept because the other team simply, this is their World Series, which is what Mookie said. And people killed him for it for some reason, even though it was incredibly innocuous. And yet here we are. The Padres look like a AAA team against literally everybody else they play, but against the Dodgers, it looks like they're fighting for a chance to go to the World Series. It's hilarious. Like Michael King had the best start of his damn life against the Dodgers. It's so funny. But also like Dodgers fans too, like they were just coming off like a 7-game winning streak, and Dodger fans started acting like the season was over and there was no point in playing. And like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
Like what is wrong with people?
Yeah. As annoying as it is though, I did think, are the Padres really becoming our rivals? The Giants, because of history, I get it. It started in New York. I get the whole thing, but the Giants just haven't been good in a long time. We've kind of like dominated them over the years. We haven't had any big games against them and things like that. Are the Padres becoming like our rivals now? Because it's annoying. Right?
No, I don't think the Dodgers care. I really don't.
I mean, listen, it doesn't matter if the Dodgers care when they don't perform. It adds to the story. It adds,
Yeah, it also is just so like
last year, right? Like it's just because there's been so many close things. I feel like
the Padres still have very much the annoying little brother energy. And and that's why I say it sincerely because I get what you're saying because of how high profile their matchups have been over the past few years in comparison to Dodgers Giants games. But if we even look at the year where, in 22, when the Padres swept the Dodgers out of the playoffs in the first round.
No, wrong. Incorrect. Incorrect. The Dodgers did not get swept. They won the game 1.
They won game 1.
Yeah, come on, man. Give us some credit. Give us some credit here.
You're right.
It's less embarrassing. It's less embarrassing. They won game 1, and we were like, "Oh, this is fine. Yeah, they're going to dominate these guys because they'd beaten them 16 times in the regular season that year."
That was the point I was making. Is that in the regular season that year, the Padres won 1 game.
They owned them. Was that the crying Kershaw year?
I think so. When they put up
that was great. They did. They won that 1 game, put that meme up, and then I don't think they won the rest of the year.
Right. Yeah. The point, the Dodgers swept out last season, right? It's all
the D-bags. The D-bags swept them.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. They've lost 6 straight postseason games.
Yeah. Anyway. It's great.
So
it's wonderful.
But the point is it's when you still have that history with the Giants, I think there's a level too of kind of a mutual respect for because the rivalry is so deep.
Sure.
With the Padres, it's just because it came as such a one-sided thing.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously Padres fans hate the Dodgers, and understandably so. Like I don't fault them a bit. Like the Dodgers just dominated their stadium this past weekend.
Yeah.
Even though the Padres won 2 of 3, they still get majority. They literally, Pantone paraded through the streets for no good reason.
Which is why they lost the series, by the way.
They lost.
Yeah. Even though they won that game, that's why they lost the series.
I get it. If I was a Padres fan, I would hate the Dodgers 100%. But the rivalry still has to be kind of going both ways. And it'll take a long time for me to feel like a level of hatred for the Padres. It's just a lot of annoyance.
The issue is that it really sparked off in 2020, right? Like the moment it sparked off is when Cody robbed Tatis of that home run.
Yeah.
And you had Max yelling at Machado and Machado having a bitch fit on the sideline, whatever. And the thing is, the Dodgers won that series pretty handily, and then they went on to win the World Series. Whereas the Padres since then have spent more money, I think, than anybody in baseball, and won a playoff series against the Dodgers and proceeded to not do anything after that.
Yeah.
That's all they've done. So, unless you win something during this rivalry, I don't really think it can be a rivalry. I just don't. The Giants won 3 World Series in 5 years.
Yeah.
That means more. That means something to have a rival that is winning games outside of the rivalry. The Padres are probably going to be an under 500 team again this year. And so I really don't care if they beat the Dodgers. I just don't, truly.
Yeah.
They can do that, and then the Dodgers can play the team after them and sweep them. It feels way better to sweep the Giants. It feels better to take 2 or 3 of it from the Giants than it does to take 2 or 3 from the Padres. It always will. The series ended on the weekend. I didn't really care, but this series started on Monday, and it's okay, this is actual real baseball.
So in the grand scheme of things, I agree with you, but I'm not gonna lie to you. Losing the series to the Padres did not. I would have rather have beat them than the Giants. Right now, present time, I would have rather beat the Padres than the Giants.
It's definitely very annoying. It's very annoying to lose to the Padres.
The Dodgers already have an 8.5 game lead in the division.
Yeah.
I think it's 8.
I still want
whatever. Snooze. And this year especially, it feels way more manufactured than previous years. They're not good. They're just not. They're going to be trading guys at the deadline if they're smart, which AJ Preller isn't. If they're 10 games under 500 or something like that at the deadline, don't you trade Luis Arraez?
Yeah, they've operated.
You probably have to start looking at moving Tatis at some point here, or Machado, or somebody, or Xander Bogaerts. I remember. I don't know. They don't feel like a real team at all this year.
They've operated in such a weird manner because Juan Soto might be the American League MVP this season. Juan Soto's been excellent, and who could have saw that coming, right? That's it's the fact that I get that they needed to get that value for Juan Soto, but if you're going into this season saying we need to move Juan Soto to get major prospect value because we've lost a lot, then why are you using some of that to get Dylan Cease and Luis Arraez? Listen, they still have a very talented team. Michael King is a very good pitcher, and he had a fantastic outing against the Dodgers and then proceeded to get shelled against the Rockies today
in San Diego. Makes no sense. No sense whatsoever.
Yeah. So the Padres are very bizarre to me this year because the last couple of years they had a much better team than the one they've got right now.
Yeah. If they still had the team from a couple of years ago and had added onto that and made moves that made sense, I might be more inclined to think that it is closer to becoming a real rivalry. And it would probably be better for the Dodgers because it's going to suck. They're going to win 110 games this year. Next closest team in the division is going to be 20 games behind them, and it's going to be the same old song and dance. Yeah. They're going to get the Cubs or something in round 1, and it's going to be a dogfight because they don't have to play anybody in their own division.
It is also crazy to see, just to wrap up the Padres series here, the offense just also didn't do anything.
No.
Will Smith and Max Muncy were both 0 for 20 going into the Giants series, and then both of them hit in the Giants series. So I don't know. The offense, like you mentioned, Bo, like if Teoscar Hernandez doesn't hit a grand slam, that's probably a sweep. But I mean, the Padres got shut out that day, so there's the Dodgers still could have won that game.
There was one thing that happened in that series that was a bit of a concern, and I think Monse wants to talk about it.
Oh yes.
Okay. Yeah, so, you like that. That's my turn to do a tease.
Yeah,
buddy.
You want to listen.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll just I gotta own it. All right, I fucked up. Monse teased Otani at the top.
Yeah, no.
And after I make such a big to do about making sure I mention Shohei Otani as much as possible, I just straight up
messed it up.
Let's talk about James Outman instead.
The thing I realized is that you don't listen to me. Basically,
the good thing is that Monse can adapt.
That's
and
all
she had
I got
a solid
holidays.
She had a solid James Outman take for you.
Listen, I would just say I kept you on your toes, and you did a hell of a job.
Thanks. Because I had stuff to say about Outman too, but whatever.
Exactly. I knew that.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. So Shohei Otani is the show. He is the reason. He is it. It is him. And he didn't play a game. He is him. He didn't play a game because of lower back tightness. And then it came out that he could have played, that he was like feeling it, but then he felt better. And then they just didn't let him play. And it's like, no, don't you do that. Don't you start because you want to protect your investment. And this guy needs to be, I don't care if he has a painful ingrown toenail. He needs to be out there. I don't care. You guys, like this made me feel like this is the beginning of what they're going to do, that they are just going to, the minute they get a whiff that something might be ailing him, they're going to sit him out. And I don't want that. He is the star. People go to see him. Just like this month. I mean, 5 homers this month. This month he's batting .447. Get out of here. 11 RBIs. Like, come on. You cannot not have him out there just because you're worried for like a second. That's not, no, you can't do that.
I know what this is, Ryan. I know what this is.
What is this?
This is it's Clipper fan PTSD right here.
I swear. I knew you were about to.
That was I blacked out for a second. I thought she was talking about Kawhi Leonard.
Rent free in your head, and all you want to do. I think you secretly love the Clippers.
Look, that's great content. It is. I love that.
You love them so much that you should just burn all your Lakers stuff and then just that was inspired. Rent free. That's it. I quit.
Yeah, you gotta protect Otani from himself. It's like we're 2 months into the season.
We're
not gonna worry about it.
Like he's batting.
It's lower back tightness. You don't want that to become full on back tightness, and then before you know it, he's throwing out a shoulder. I mean, this is why the Angels it's why he probably got hurt at the end of last year, because he was hurt and the Angels needed him out there because he's the only guy that could do anything for that team, which the Angels did something very funny last night too. And if we have time, I would love to talk about that.
Yeah,
that was great. I mean, I think in baseball, the season's just way too long. You can't just throw a guy out there. I think if it was like something that mattered, maybe they definitely would have brought him in to pinch hit, but I don't think it's worth the risk.
I agree with Bo.
Yeah,
you guys are terrible fans. You're terrible fans.
It was his first missed game as a Dodger. I would, especially early in the season, if he stubs his toe, just put him in bubble wrap for the night and call it. Say, listen, it's okay. Will Smith can DH. We need to get him out. That was the thing. They used Will Smith as DH that day on a day where he would have to take it off as a catcher anyway. So.
So he was taking the day off. So you're saying he didn't need to take the day off. Okay, got it.
Hey, we need the bat of Austin Barnes in sometimes.
Yeah, you gotta keep him in there.
Whenever you have that chance. Listen, we joke about Austin Barnes. He's actually hitting above 200 this season, which is incredible. But I think the last I saw. Anyway, when it's early in this, again, I understand where you're coming from in the sense of people come to see him, and that's where there is this added level of stress when it comes to having Otani play every day is because like there are people, if you announce that Otani wasn't going to play that day, you're getting half the ticket sales. So
Right.
like
And it was announced the day of.
Yeah, it is a very
savvy
real
business
thing.
decision right there by the Dodgers.
Yes.
Help the Padres out a little bit.
So I get it. But since we're in such a comfortable position and it's so early in the season, I think it's fine to if it's a situation like this. Again, this wasn't like a load management day. He hasn't had one of those. This was I actually kind of felt something in my back. And that's important because MLB.com put out an article today where StatCast has these new metrics of measuring bat speed. And it basically, long story short, Otani swings the bat harder than literally everybody.
That's shocking. That's shocking.
Like his average bat speed is slightly above 75 miles an hour, which is the threshold for what is considered a fast swing. So like on average, he's swinging. It sounds lame to say he swings it fast, but like his average swing is the average player's fast swing is the way I'm putting it. So like he and the fact that he is able to barrel the ball better than literally everybody, like these are the reasons why, again, Marcell Ozuna is not the MVP, because Shohei Otani, like when you break down every single number, everything shows that he's the best hitter in baseball, because nobody can swing the bat as hard and make as incredibly solid contact as he does. And that's why the ball goes so far. It's amazing.
I do think too, I think with baseball, there is a bit of a mystique to being able to say like, well, yeah, Otani's not going to be in the lineup tonight, but he could pinch hit, because that creates some good ass moments too. Mm-hmm. The first game I went to in a long time when I was younger was Manny Ramirez bobblehead night. And on the way to the stadium, they announced that he wasn't going to play in that game. He was going to be available to pinch hit. And so I was pissed because that was the only reason I wanted to go. They weren't a great team or anything like that, but I wanted to go see Manny. You okay?
No, this is perfect. Please continue.
Yeah. He wasn't going to be starting, but he wasn't going to be available to pinch hit. And, it came to be that bases were loaded, I think bottom of the 6th inning, and they announced Manny Ramirez was coming to the plate, and the stadium just started losing their mind. It was rocking, and he hit a grand slam. Mm-hmm. That was the difference in the game, if I remember correctly. So, like, there is something cool about that, where it's not like where, in basketball, they say, oh, LeBron James is out tonight, or, oh, Kawhi Leonard's out tonight, and you're just not going to see them at all. Like, there's no, oh, LeBron's doing the chalk toss. He's coming in the fourth quarter because he's actually so it's a little bit different in baseball, but it's important too. I saw someone wrote an article, but like you do have to protect Otani from himself, because he does want to be out there every single game. Like he doesn't want to sit, but at certain points you just got to be like, dude, this isn't the Angels anymore. Like you don't have to worry about that. Like it's fine. And yeah, they didn't win, but like whatever. The Angels would have put him out there in a 7-0 loss. No.
I hear what you're saying about protecting him from himself.
Like I was watching the Knicks play last night, and they're up like 30 points, and Jalen Brunson's still in the game in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's right.
Like what the hell's going on here?
Yes, get out there. People go to see you. Thank you, Jalen Brunson.
They go to see Josh Hart too. He
doesn't ever leave.
Man never leaves the floor. The reason why I was freaking out, Beau, is, and as we mentioned off the top, Shohei Otani bobblehead night is tomorrow, and that got me thinking about like significant like bobblehead memories that I have in terms of bobblehead nights and like specific bobbleheads that I have. I was also at Manny Ramirez bobblehead.
There you go.
So
that's something.
I had no idea that you were
little baby Ryan.
Yeah, and I was looking to see if I had that one.
I don't know where mine is. Mine's gone.
But yeah, that was the single loudest moment I've ever witnessed at Dodger Stadium. It was incredible. Mm-hmm. Like when he came up, people lost their mind, and it was the first pitch, and he hit it into Manny Wood. It was insane. That was electric. That was incredible. As you can see behind me, I have a Vince Scully bobblehead that I'm still deathly afraid to take out of the box. It is there. I also have a standing. I don't. Well, it could be. I don't know. I have the box.
What if he's haunting it and he's like, "Please let me out"?
I got that Will Smith
Oh, there we go. Is that from this year?
No, this was I think 2 years ago, and so
Okay.
it was Will Smith from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Will Smith.
I've got I got Caleb Williams, Dodgers bobblehead somewhere, and JD Martinez. I think Gavin Lux, courtesy of Monse.
Yeah.
There's a few, yeah. I think I have Walker Buehler.
Yeah.
I have a handful. I do, because I've got the Gagne Cy Young bobblehead behind me as well. There's the oral the oral Juan Kenobi. I have a Sandy Koufax still in the box. Yeah.
What's up? Hold on, where?
Up top is you can't see it. There's a Clayton Kershaw up there.
Oh. You know what my most prized Dodger memorabilia is?
What?
Hold on, let me see if I can reach it. Oh, I can't. Oh no!
That's it. Everything broke. That's
it. It's my this is dirt. This is dirt from Dodger Stadium. They gave us season ticket holders.
Yeah.
I got this as a Christmas present from my wife after making fun of this as a joke. I was like, it was another like Dodger season that ended stupidly, and I was like, yeah, that's what they give season ticket holders is dirt. And like 2 weeks later, Christmas morning, I'm like opening.
Crazy for that dirt, y'all.
Yeah.
Like we'll be on a tour and then someone will sneakily try to take dirt from the warning track when we're on the floor. And
you order the assassins to take care of them?
No, I'm like, just take the dirt.
Just take
it. Thought the top deck snipers were going to have a little.
No, they're not in the infield. They're on the warning track. But I'm like, just take the dirt. We do give away like dirt. People go crazy for it. We have like little.
How many ashes do you think are scattered at Dodgers?
Millions.
Yeah, right. Millions. Any given time.
Millions. Maybe not millions, but there's definitely ashes.
No, for sure. That has to be.
1,000%.
Otani bobbleheads tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah. How many like straight up fights do you think there are going to be over those?
Jeez.
I don't know.
And you saw that there's like a certain amount that are like road gray.
Oh wow.
Yeah, there's like I thought like there's like 1,700 road gray bobbleheads that are assorted amongst the rest of them.
That's never a good idea. That's never a good idea.
Yeah, there's going to be like it's going to be busy. It's going to be action tomorrow at Dodger Stadium. I might have to go just to see what's up.
I'm going to work. Luckily, I don't work the gates or anything like that because of the tours. But one year they were shorthanded and they asked some of us if we could work the gate because it was the Cody Bellinger bobblehead where one was a road gray and the other one was, I think, blue. And so they came random and like people wanted to fight me. And I was like, I don't have a box of gray. I just have blue. Like I'm not doing this it's not every other one. It's like the boxes. You know what I mean? People were so mad. Oh my, that was Cody Bellinger. I didn't know that this had like a specialty one mixed in there.
Oh,
no.
Now you know.
Oh my God, I'm gonna call him sick. I'm not doing this.
The important thing is Friday night, Reggie Bush is throwing out the first pitch.
There you go.
So we will be seated. Probably not really. Actually, I could. I might actually go to that game. I might actually go.
There you go.
Okay.
Maybe steal a Otani bobblehead of someone's twitching corpse in the parking lot after they got jumped.
I mean, so like referring back to my gorgeous fiance Audrey's bobblehead of the Hello Kitty, the bobble arm. It's not actual bobblehead. It's the arm. It's just a bobble. Is what it's called. We got to that game a good like half hour
3 days early
gates and it was gone. The only reason we have it is because Monse was there already and was able to secure one for us, which thank you very much.
My time working at Dodger Stadium, the Hello Kitty nights, anything Hello Kitty, madhouse. Just madhouse.
Yeah, they instead they had to end up giving us a head, like it was like a paper headband. Like you had to like it was like they had just printed them out and they're like, here you go. There's I don't know Hello Kitties on it. So and I'm like that was a good half hour before. And they were playing the A's, by the way. They were playing the Oakland A's that day on a Tuesday, and it was a madhouse. So I cannot imagine what a Thursday night for an Otani bobblehead against like an actual decent team in the Reds, with like a good, isn't it? It's like isn't it Glasnow versus Lodolo tomorrow night? Like that's a really good matchup. Nick Lodolo.
Oh, okay.
He's very good.
Sounds like a Pokemon.
Lodolo. Yeah, that's so. If you are going to that game and you want a bobblehead, go right now.
Yeah,
if you're
get
watching
there tonight.
this at 10 a.m., go now.
Get strapped. It's gonna be Mad Max.
It is gonna be full on Mad Max.
That's why you hop on a pregame tour. You get it first.
There you go.
There it is.
There you go.
There you go.
All right, let's wrap this up really quickly because Beau, you mentioned it and it was super funny. Was the Angels last night, where they called a suicide squeeze on it was a 1-1 count with 1 out with runners on.
It was the bases were loaded. Bases were loaded. Yeah.
And Luis Guillorme misses the bunt, which is, by the way, a left-handed batter facing a left-handed pitcher, calling the squeeze. The runner on third coming home misses the bunt. Catcher just tags him out.
Beautiful.
All right, thanks, Wash, and we move on. And then Ron Washington kind of blamed Guillorme for screwing it up.
Absolutely. Torched him in the post game. Which my only point and the reason why this is funny is that's why Dave Roberts is never going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like he doesn't do that stuff. He knows when to take accountability, and I've never heard Dave Roberts blame a player for something.
Mm-hmm.
If he has, you'll have to show it to me. I've never heard it. But all these people that want these old school managers, all these old school managers know how to do is deflect blame because they're always just looking for their next TV job. That's all they're doing. Yeah, that was just comedy to me. That was just bad process, and Ron Washington just completely throwing some guy on the team under the bus who probably isn't going to be on the Angels much longer anyway. Hopefully he finds greener pastures. But yeah, that was just hilarious. So funny.
Yeah. Well, thanks for that, Wash.
Oh man. And real quick, no, this is going to help. Giants fans on Twitter, they were trying to be because Otani hit that ball that almost went into the bay, dead center, right?
Yeah.
They were being how much if he had signed with us, how much better he would feel doing that. It's what are you talking about? How does that track at all? I saw someone be oh, he must have he must be rethinking his decision, seeing that he can still hit the ball here well. And I'm what? What?
He's rounding the bases going, man, I kind of feel bad for these guys.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what he's doing. He's thinking to himself, good thing I didn't sign here because this sucks. God.
Goodness, yeah, that was the hardest hit ball. I want to call it Pac Bell. I know it's not Pac Bell anymore, but that was the hardest hit ball there this season. And only Barry Bonds has hit them further or whatever.
Yeah, Shohei Otani, folks.
Shohei
Otani.
Shohei Otani, Japan, Major League Baseball, Los Angeles Dodgers, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. All right, so Monse, be prepared. We will be praying for you tomorrow. Hopefully you will make it out fine.
We'll see. Maybe you'll be on the news. You'll see.
And do not try asking her for a bobblehead because there's not gonna happen. No, that's no. I don't think your family would ask you for a bobblehead tomorrow. It just feels that's gonna be just a madhouse. But if you are going, hope you enjoy it.
Yeah.
And hopefully the Dodgers win tonight, so that way, and hopefully nothing catastrophic happens in this game to instantly make all of this content irrelevant. Yeah. All right. So until next week, Monse, Beau, thank you guys. Look at that.
Look at that.
We are.
Hey, that's our Twitter handles.
Follow me at Ryan Bershinger. That's BURSCHINGER. Follow Monse at Monse Bolaños. Follow Beau at Beau Not Jackson. That's BAOU. And
that's what
B-A-O-U.
It's right there. It's literally right there.
Bow Jackson.
My name's not Conor McGregor, man. Come on.
I got.
Wow.
Yeah, this needs to end.
I need that audio.
Tried. He tried, of course.
I need that audio sent to me ASAP, please. That's going to be used.
B-E-A-U.
Jesus Christ.
Beautiful.
Why are you struggling? Do you need to see the eye doctor? What's going
you know
on?
what? Maybe, honestly. I think it was, I heard it as Beau in my head, so I'm like, B-O. B-E-O. B-A-O.
Damn. Yeah, no, please.
Awful.
I need that audio track.
Like what?
Yeah,
What is it?
we're gonna get some mileage out of that one.
Jesus Christ.
For
All
sure.
right, so this is the Sick Podcast, the Dodger Zone. Please like us. Please like me. Please like the podcast. Please follow us on Twitter at SickPodDodgers. Subscribe to the podcast, and we will love you forever. Until next time, this is the Sick Podcast, the Dodger Zone. Enjoy yourselves, everyone.
Bye.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast, the Dodger Zone, on YouTube, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.